not going to be bored on your daily commute if this is what you have to drive. Hey everyone, it's Dave with Bo Drives, and today we are commuting in Nicole's 2024 Mazda CX90 Preferred Plus trim, I believe. This is Mazda's German competitor, 3-row SUV, turbocharged 3-liter inline-6 car. This has been Nicole's daily driver for about a year and a half, taking it to the office, putting it through its paces of a daily commute. Take a little walk around, painting this white, some blacked out plastic and fender bits, machined alloy, dark alloy wheels. Trunk space with the third rows down, loads of space. Those third row seats are folded down. We're joined by Milo today. He is freezing. It is about single digits in Pennsylvania. Hello, buddy. I know it's cold. Your air's not even on. Oh my gosh. I know. There we go. Third zone of climate control up there or up front. Captain's chairs, we can talk about those later. Buddy Milo looking so handsome. And the front seat where the magic happens. Ah, 4 degrees. Hopefully everyone heard me in that intro, but again, 2024 Mazda CX90. This is Nicole's daily driver for over about a year and a half now. Put about 17, almost 18,000 miles on it. And yeah, she mostly works from home, so I'm taking it to the office today. We have some nice amenities in this cabin for commuting. Heated seats, nice sound system, heads-up display, adaptive cruise control. Turn that auto wipers off. We do not have a heated steering wheel in this car, and we don't have seat memory, which is probably the 2 features I would like the most. Seat memory, more because the both of us alternate driving this car a lot, so it's never really on one seat setting, and it's, you know, always inconsistent of what seat setting we're getting between drives. Heated steering wheel, only really nice on like these super bitter cold days, but heated seats work fine. This car does take a little bit long to warm up because it is a big boy. I believe it's wireless CarPlay, but we have this infotainment, yep, wireless CarPlay, that is controlled by this scroll wheel with some quick access buttons between navigation and your music, and then your home screen as well. A little bit slow because it's still warming up in here. The highlight of this Mazda CX90 is, of course, the turbocharged 3-liter inline-6. Makes about 280 horsepower. This is the turbo variant, not the Turbo S. So it's an 8-speed automatic, made it to a mild hybrid, and I believe there's no torque converter. The mild hybrid motor in that transmission acts as kind of the torque converter. This car gets 24 mpg in the city, 20 on the highway, and while you would think it is pretty smooth, there are some rough shifts and rough launches, especially when you switch the system on and off. As a mild hybrid, it will turn off when you're coasting, at stoplights, pretty frequently, especially once the car gets up to temperature, and especially in those, you know, middle range where it's not extremely cold or extremely warm. Overall, this powertrain is pretty smooth and pretty refined, though I think there's a lot of criticism around it from most owners. But, you know, for a brand that's pushing upmarket premium, you know, towards like an Acura, Lexus, but still maintaining mainstream pricing, Mazda's really nailed it. We'll talk a bit more about chassis dynamics as we get out on the road. First stop is fill up on gas. Again, 24 mpg in the city, 28 on the highway. Does have a decently small fuel tank. I think it probably holds about 13, 14 gallons. But we are at God's promised land of Costco gasoline, and we will fill up. Pull up a little bit more. While we're here, reverse camera, a little bit dirty, but good view, good resolution, and you even get, okay, maybe the windows are frozen, but you can hear the mild hybrid system alerting us with a kind of binging and bonging sound. Warn pedestrians that we are backing up. Everything is frozen and crunchy. The regular turbo is rated for regular gasoline, and we will put regular gasoline in. The Turbo S, to get the max, I think 320 horsepower, does require premium. Looks like we're gonna get about 12 gallons in. 13, wow. Right on the money. So it's about a 15-gallon fuel tank. About 13 gallons went in. Oh, I forgot to turn off the car. Oops. Oh boy. I've never done that. I forgot to turn off the car while fueling it up. And now all of YouTube knows. Where is seatbelts in? Let's get going. So our next stop after fueling up, like this typical commute, would be dropping off Mr. Milo, who has fallen asleep in his throne back there. Now, more about my commute. This is my new work commute. It's about 15 miles, and depending on the time of day and the traffic, it could be anywhere from 22 minutes to about 45 minutes. And it'll still always be 16 miles, which is just baffling. This road in Pennsylvania, 422, always gets backed up. It's crazy. And we will not be following directions, but as you can see, our screen is still struggling a little bit, warming up and stuff, but hopefully that'll get a little bit better. While we're here, looking at the center console, physical climate controls, good feedback, and nice feeling buttons for all your functions. Heated seats as mentioned, independent 2-zone climate up here, making a tri-zone in the rear with that independent control as well for the back passengers. On the left side, we get traction control. You can turn off your iStop, which is your mild hybrid system, your auto start stop, and you can turn off your safety systems and pop the trunk. Window controls, all that stuff over there. On the steering wheel, I do like the size of this steering wheel. It's got a nice chunky kind of bottom and stuff, but it's thin all around, good feeling leather and stuff. Again, not heated. Would be nice on this 4-degree day, but we've made do. We got our infotainment controls over here, adaptive cruise control buttons over here. Very easy to set. You know, turn it on, set your speed, increase it 5-mile-an-hour increments or single-mile-an-hour increments for a short press, 5-mile-an-hour increments for a long press. Perfect size for an infotainment screen. I do like the implementation of Mazda's scroll wheel, you know, their non-touchscreen system. And yes, I didn't do a good job cleaning the car. Sometimes though, I just wish I had that second control like in a BMW to use the touchscreen, but this is definitely the best implemented touchpad system. So many physical buttons around your infotainment control. And continuing on with chassis dynamics, we'll go over these bumpy roads. I would say the ride is firm, but not like firm crashy, because it's actually the weight, the undulations and the movement are well controlled. you're just feeling more the road, the textures through the steering wheel, through the chassis and stuff. I don't personally mind that. I could think compared to like a Honda Pilot or a Toyota Highlander, Grand Highlander, you know, all the mainstream through-row crossovers, Telluride from Kia, the Palisade from Hyundai. This has the best chassis dynamics, and not just for, you're not gonna be driving this car hard, but what you're gonna be enjoying is not feeling like you're on the high seas driving this barge that feels way larger than it is. And now this car is smaller than those other cars, but it feels smaller than where it actually is sized for, versus like the other cars feel bigger than they actually are. But anyways, I'm rambling on. Braking performance, very smooth, very nice. Really hides that extra weight, combined with, you know, the regenerative braking that you do get from the mild hybrid system. This car does slow down very nicely, very well controlled in emergency stops. Thank God we haven't had too many of those. All right, next time we'll check in, we'll have dropped off Mr. Milo, and we'll be getting onto the highway, so we'll chat then. The Milo has been successfully dropped off, and as you just noticed, when I check my blind spot, we do have blind spot monitoring. When you do have someone passing in your blind spot, the mirrors will flash. If you have your turn signal on, it will go bling bling. So lots of Mazda safety systems. You get rear cross traffic alert. We don't have parking sensors though, which would be nice, but we also don't have a 360 camera, and I think those work well together, but we've made do without it. No curb rashing, no hitting anything. My fiance and I are pretty competent drivers. Now that the car is warmed up, we can talk about a little bit of the performance. We have drive modes including normal, off-road, and sport, which has changed throttle mapping and steering weight. No adaptive dampers in the Mazda CX90. But even in this base 280 horsepower turbocharged inline 6, gets up to speed very nicely. We also have paddle shifters, decently responsive. No way to lock it into a manual mode. It will definitely revert to automatic mode and upshift to the lowest gear possible. Sport will change the tack and also hold the revs and gears higher, or lower, I guess. Gears lower, revs higher. But throwing back to normal, we can talk about some of our digital displays. We got the screen in the middle, we got this semi-analog with like the tachometer and the fuel and engine temperature gauges, analog. But then we have like the digital center speedometer. Could use this info button to go to our trip information or a full driver assistance menu, or we can just stick with the standard speedometer, which I think we like the most. That's the one we left it on, because we also have a head-up display which projects your directions from Apple CarPlay, shows your driver assistance, your lane centering, or lane keep assist, not lane centering, and your miles per hour. Very nicely sized heads-up display. Very crisp, very good resolution. And when you do throw it into adaptive cruise control, it does change some of the functionality, but we'll talk about that when we get on the highway. See if we have a chance to get on the highway. A little bit of traffic, so I don't expect much spirited driving, but this is a morning commute in an excellent family daily driver. Still has plenty of torque low down, makes a great sound. Very, very refined, but also very meaty sound. Makes it feel like a special product. Yeah, see, it went out of manual mode. Now settling onto the highway, we'll try to get up to higher speeds. Go back to 8th. We'll try to take a listen to some noise on the highway. The NVH, noise, vibration, harshness. As you can hear, I'm not hearing any wind noise, no vibrations, rattles from the cabin. It glides, it's very smooth over the highway. And of course we're already in traffic, but what can you expect on a morning commute? And impressions on comfort for long trips. Anyone who sat in this car has always enjoyed it. Kind of an underrated brand, so getting a car like this with, you know, with 3 rows, a nice interior, good sounding engine, it's just a nice break from like the constant Toyota, Honda, you know, even Kia and Hyundai. And yeah, so it's like a very nice place for people to be, and we've really enjoyed our ownership of this car. Now we're getting more speed on the highway. Let's lock in some adaptive cruise. All the snow that I didn't wipe off is going to be flying all around. Some tire or wheel noise over bumps, and a little bit of road noise as you'd expect. But this car is great to drive on the highway. Very easy to place because it is smaller, but also it's just such a nice chassis, and the steering is so direct and well weighted. It's very easy to maneuver. Sometimes it is a little bit heavy when you're on the highway. You do have to make a couple of adjustments. You can't necessarily drive this with like such finesse on a long road trip. So overall, we really enjoyed this car, and for this commute, which I realize this video is about commuting, this car works as intended. It's comfortable, it's got good tech, it's very usable, it's very fuel efficient for what it is, and it's enjoyable. It's got charm, it's got, you know, some performance for what it is. You're not going to be bored on your daily commute if this is what you have to drive. You know, maybe you only have one car and you're you're hauling the kids around, you're going to work, you're doing it all. This works as intended. Or maybe, you know, you both want Mazda CX90s, and I think that's like kind of the appeal. I would drive like a CX90 or CX70 as like a secondary car to like some kind of sport coupe. One, because it's so familiar and we know the positive experience we're going to get, but also it's very easy to live with. We've had no problems in terms of repairs, maintenance, cost of ownership, and we've had a good experience with our local Mazda, and we've enjoyed driving it. There are a couple of features I would like, and I'm sure as this new powertrain and platform continue to get refined, it's going to just get more features and just be such a mainstay in this segment as time goes on. Mazda's really, and I really do sound like a Mazda loyalist, but they're trying. They're making an effort, making interesting products for people who care a little bit more about than just driving an appliance. When you're spending so much money on a car these days, do you really want to keep spending, you know, 40, 50 grand on that CRV or that Pilot that, you know, you're paying the Honda and Toyota tax for, but you're getting subpar dealership experiences, you're getting a refined and reliable car, which to a lot of people is important, but like for some people want something different, a little bit more interesting. Mazda's there for you. I'll wrap up this video sitting in traffic. The throttle mapping, the transmission has actually been pretty smooth and pretty refined. I have no complaints. It's very easy to let the car fall into the background and just focus on the commute into work. If I had my coffee or I picked up a coffee, I would have been enjoying it, no problem, as I'm getting in the zone for the day. So with that being said, hope everyone enjoyed the video. And as always, it's Dave with POV Drives, and I appreciate all your support, and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao.